What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to talk about a new horror that just dropped today called Consecration. Now, I saw this movie last night, and I didn't plan on talking about it because obviously, if I didn't want to talk about it, I don't think it's that great. But since this is a theatrical release and people spend their dollars to go buy tickets, I said, I'm going to talk about it. This would have been streaming, I would have left it alone, but here we are. So, the premise of the film is this woman named Grace goes to Scotland to find out what happened to her brother. Her brother was a priest at a church in Scotland, and he ended up killing himself, and she doesn't believe it because she knows her brother. When she gets there, it's this mystery hunt to figure out what's happening to him, and supernatural forces come at play. Now, the premise sounds really good. The trailer even looked good, but as the movie started to unravel, it just didn't quite work out for a number of reasons. I can say that the first bit of the film, even maybe the first act, I would say, really does work well, in the sense of they really do a great job of making this whole atmosphere feel mysterious and you don't know what's going on. They even have imagery of things hidden in the background, shadows, nuns looking kind of weird, and it's like, what is happening? You know what I'm saying? From that point on, as you delve deeper into this mystery, everything just becomes really obvious as to what's going on. It's like they wanted to be complex, but weren't, and kind of failed at it, because once you start to get more information, it's like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And sure enough, it does happen. Now, there's nothing wrong with something being predictable, but the problem here is we're never given anything to pay off the predictable nature of what's going on and all of the cliche things that happen. And I think what doesn't make it worse for me watching this film is I just recently rewatched Pray for the Devil, and I call that movie mid, and I still stand by that. But I bring that movie up to let y'all know what I find to be mid and what's not. Like, this movie, Consecration, is below mid, because unlike Pray for the Devil, this gives you nothing else but just what they give you, and you're just kind of like, you're just underwhelmed at the end of the day. With at least Pray for the Devil, it's mid, but there are things that you can kind of like get into. They actually have some scares in Pray for the Devil. There's some interesting ideas and concepts that even though they don't all land in Pray for the Devil, I think the third act, while it's been something we've seen before and a little overblown, it still offers something entertaining and gives you that feeling of like, okay, I see why we went all the way through with this, and I got something from that movie. Consecration doesn't do that, man, honestly. When the movie ends, or when the things start to reveal themselves as to what's happening, it does it in such a lackluster way. Like, it doesn't go out bombastic, it doesn't do anything stylish. It's just like, this is what we're doing? And that's what I was waiting for. Like, I would have been all for the first two acts of me knowing what's happening and all of this stuff if we got a third act that was just like mind-blowing. I was hoping that was happening. I was like, okay, this is pretty clear about what's going on, so the third act's gotta be crazy. If they're making it this obvious that this is going to happen, we're probably gonna get our socks blown off. And it just does not deliver at all on that. And one of the things the movie does that doesn't work out that well is it gives flashbacks throughout the movie about Grace's history, right? So it gives you pieces of her history throughout the movie, and once the reveal comes, we go back in time and see the full story of those flashbacks. But again, it's done so underwhelming and nonchalantly that it just doesn't feel that cool. You know, you have those moments when like a flashback comes and they'll, the film will run it back and then play the whole scene of what went down in the flashback, and you're like, oh. Not the case here. You're just kind of watching like, okay. And I feel like that's a really big downfall. And most people, I would assume, can take cliche and those things again if you have payoff somewhere, if you have some form of payoff. You just never get it. And the thing about those flashbacks, the way they work is you don't even know they're flashbacks until like you've seen a bunch of them, because it just cuts to different scenes and you're just like, what's happening? There was actually something here that could have been there to make this movie better, but it just never does it, man. And it's a shame because I really like Jenna as an actress. She always gives it her all, and she tried to do it here, but just a great actor can never make a bland script work out. Honestly, a film that did this better is Eli on Netflix. Like, I was hoping it was gonna go that route. If you've ever seen Eli, it's a dope story, and the way that it goes, you kind of know where it's leading to, but when the third act happens, it's just like all hell breaks loose. And I was really hoping this was gonna happen, especially in the trailer when we see that image of her walking with the white nun gown and she has all the blood on her. Like, I was expecting something way bigger from that moment, but we never get it. And I was hoping, like, it even teases at that very moment, and I'm like, oh, here we go. It just kind of dwindles off and more talking, and it just didn't work at all. I don't know if I would suggest watching this one even on streaming. You know, some films I'm like, they don't really need a theatrical experience, wait for home viewing, but I don't even know if this makes the home viewing cut personally. Yeah, Consecration didn't work out for me. So if you've seen the movie, let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like it? And if so, what are your redeeming factors? If you didn't like it, let me know as well. Be respectful, because I always say directing a film and crafting a film is a difficult task. So I'm always going to be respectful to the filmmakers, the writers, the crew involved. So while I didn't like this movie, I hope that I came off very respectful to them. So make sure you do the same thing. But anyway, if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.